A great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Great day, I guess. Don't like the way that one ended, Rick, but my goodness, what a friggin' hockey game that was. Oh my. Goaltenders duel.
Yeah.
Can the Montreal Canadiens shoot the puck, I don't know, that far off the ice, or does it always have to hit his goddamn pad? I think 25 of the 28 shots were on his pad. Try shooting it 2 feet high. Is it possible? Because he's got great pads. Lift the damn thing another 6 inches. So he has to use a stick. You notice that they go to the stick side just about every time, but it's always this far off the ice. Well, he fucking saves it with his pad. Lift it a little higher, please, guys. Make him have to save it with his blocker. That in-between spot between the top of the pad and his blocker. Like, I don't know how many shots they took that were, I don't know, 6 to 12 inches high, and he puts out the pad and he makes the save time and time and time again. Oh, Paul. Mark's back. Mark, where the hell you been, buddy? $200. Sorry for my absence, Grant. Had him family emergency. Looking forward to a game 7. Go Habs, go.
Jeez.
Oh, Paul, you got beat to it, buddy. Paul was telling me, hinting that he might be doing something like this, and Mark did it first.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, Mark. That eases the pain. But you know what? They haven't lost the series. It's going to a game 7. Sorry to hear about the family emergency, Mark. Geez, I'm glad I was worried to heck that it was you. Like, you've disappeared off the face of the earth, and I thought, maybe you left us or something. I was worried, so I'm just not the $200 that thrills me. It's the fact that you're okay, and I hope everything works out okay with your family there, Mark.
Yes,
but glad that you're back, my friend. Tampa has not won 2 playoff games in a row in their last 28. So if we want to look at the positive here, Rick, let's hope that trend continues. And Montreal only lost 2 in a row once since November. So, if you look at the trends, Montreal should win game 7. And I think they've lost once in regulation in Tampa in their last 5. Paul was telling me. So they just they got to go back to Tampa and win game 7. That's all.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they played well all in all. There's no terrible. There's nobody who played a terrible game. Even Caulfield got a bit more shots than usual. I thought Demidov played about as well as he's played since the start of the playoffs. You did mention getting the puck a little high once in a while. I remember a guy called Texier who scored a goal recently, got the puck a little high, thinking, maybe the Habs should do the same thing. It might be a good idea, or even just like kind of upper body, kind of a little fake before shooting, a little pump or something. There was a lot of time for Vasilevsky often to get into position and set up for the save. So I was thinking that I go just get a bit higher, just do a little pump with the upper body before releasing the shot. Just give him a little something to put him out of position, and try to get to the net a little more. Those are the main issues. But besides that, I mean, God, again, the defense was great. Dobesh was great. Yes, they let in some dangerous shots, but boy, it happened. Tampa was fighting for their lives, and they were going more on offense. There were a lot of defensive breakdowns for Tampa, and but they were risking it. What could you do?
Right. Mark mentioned that his mother passed away. So very sorry to hear that.
Yes,
Mark. It's my condolences to you and your family on that. Well, yeah, I got Flash Score here, and they've been getting scores wrong a lot lately. Like I use it, but for some reason they've been getting scores wrong.
Right.
And I went there about a minute before the game ended to see the Buffalo score, and I noticed, goal Montreal 1, Tampa nothing, and there's a delay on my game.
Oh no!
Like there's a delay with me watching it, so I thought Montreal won the friggin' thing.
Yeah.
So double.
Oh man.
Double disappointment there. It was yeah, pretty sad. And that pick at the blue line had a lot to do. Doc got picked, and of course, like you were saying to me before we started the show, the old the Florida Panther special, right? That that they got away with tons of times in the last 2 playoff runs, and that's ultimately what ended the game. Montreal came out, I mean, holy frick, 28 hits, Rick, in the first period, the most that they had all season. Arbor alone had 6 hits in the first period, which is absolutely insane. They came out, and they were the harder hitting team. Like they ended up with 50 on the night, but it's safe to say that Tampa defense has gotten worn down some. Hagel be getting worn down some. He took some really heavy hits tonight. And I guess, karma, right? Calling him Speedy Gonzalez, and what's he do? He scores the freaking goal.
I know.
Sorry, Speedy. Your name's Gage. You were fast tonight. Too fast for the Habs.
I know.
Anyway, what do you think of that interference call on Demidov with 3.5 minutes left in the game? I was not what you would say ecstatic about that one.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think the way the referee interpreted is because I believe one of the legs kind of went sideways and hit the goaler that way, and I think he felt it was dangerous.
Okay.
I didn't agree with the call anyways. I think that's why he called it, but I don't agree with it. I think that there was an effort, Demidov, to try to avoid him, and then the defenseman kind of hooked Demidov,
Pirelli,
and then he had no place to go.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
That
came out of the blue. But I think that was the problem. But it was also a makeup call for the play before the high stick that John Cooper complained a lot about, and I think that was a makeup call maybe. But you don't give a makeup call with 3 minutes left in a game that's 0-0. Like, come on.
Wow.
So it bothered me. But I think that's why the referee called. If you see the leg of Demidov goes up like an horizontal angle, and it kind of goes right into.
Not like he came in and said, "I'm going to hit you with my skate." He got friggin' booked.
No.
So not only did they not call the Cirelli penalty, they called Demi with 3.5 minutes left. The refs were pretty good. Like, they were letting things go. I liked, for the most part, how the game was refereed. Up until then. Kucherov getting away with those slashes again, but then finally, they didn't give him another mulligan in the overtime when the guy falls flat on his back like that. You have to make the call. And I thought, okay, wouldn't this be sweet revenge on that asshole, for 2021, right? Yes. And everything else, just okay, win it on the power play with Kucherov in the box, and Hudson came close, but again, this far off the frickin' ice, and you got to lift it up a bit more, guys. I swear 24 of their shots were this high.
Yeah, no.
And that doesn't go over the goal pad, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Right.
It won't go through the goal pad, and it doesn't go over it. So they gotta adjust their sights and start shooting. I don't know, about that high off the ice. If they can do that, they probably score about 5 goals tonight because they had golden friggin' opportunities.
Oh, yes.
My goodness. Cole and Demi, and there were some posts, but Gensel had some posts tonight too. Both teams hit a few posts, but I think the Canadians ones were really like off the inside of like really close. A couple of those shots had Vasilevsky beat for sure. That save that he made off Demidov, the double save there, he was outstanding. Best game of the series for Vasilevsky. He stole one,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
And you kind of expected that going into the series that's son of a bitch would steal one somewhere along the way, and he did tonight. So got to solve them next game and hopefully shoot the puck this high instead of this high. I know it sounds, but it's true. Like, I don't know how many shots they took that they weren't going to beat his pad, and he's got quick pads and he's huge and he gets them out there and he makes the saves. There was one nice toe save too, but again, if it's 20 inches high instead of an inch off the ground, he doesn't make the toe save. But anyway, they did seem to think that they could beat him blocker side along the ice or just a couple inches off, and I think he showed tonight that no, you got to lift it a little higher.
The issue too was that the shots again, they were low and they were just. I thought when they did release the shots, there was besides the Slavkovsky shot that wasn't high enough but was quick. A lot of the shots were just a second too slow to get off, and that fraction of a second made a difference for Vasilevsky. But there was a little bit of just aiming for the perfect shot, and that happens when the goaltender's hot. But you also got to get a bit more, like they're going towards the net, but they're not getting enough in the front of Vasilevsky sometime, and that might be something that they want to do a little bit more of. At least get that rebound situation or get them flustered a little bit. And sometimes when you let in 2 or 3 rebounds, juicy rebounds, because your screen, you kind of start wondering if you're in the game, if you see the puck well, and you want to put a little bit of doubt on Vasilevsky if you can. The one thing too for Montreal that I found is that a lot of their scoring opportunities were coming down deep when they were winning puck battles. Might be a little bit more fatigue in Tampa Bay's area side because they are getting hit hard and they're getting hit a lot. You talk about Eagle getting that big hit. I think Borowski got around 4 huge hits. I think 3 of them by Anderson, 1 of them by Goulet. He must be a little bit rattled right now, but winning the puck battles for Montreal was big because I think it speaks a little bit on the fatigue of Tampa Bay side down low. And as you said, especially on the defensemen, I felt like there was a little bit more fatigue on their side of the ice.
Yeah. Sorry, Borowski?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about?
I always forget. I always have trouble saying his name for Tampa. Buryovsky or something like that. The right winger. He took a few hits.
Bjorkstrand?
Sorry?
Bjorkstrand?
Bjorkstrand. Sorry, I got mixed up between
Not
him
sure
and
how you
another
get Borowski out of that, my friend. Okay. No,
I think my fatigue is hitting high. That game was exhausting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Bjorkstrand took a few for sure. I will. Wayner. I hate Tampa. Yeah. Same way, Bell. Well, we got to hit him one more night. Look, I called it Habs in 7. So hopefully I'm right for a change. And Paul was at the game tonight. It's too bad. Never had that feeling they would pull it out. Well, I don't know. It was anybody's game, really. Yeah. Like,
yeah, it was.
All I knew is it was just going to take one goal. It was not I'm not surprised that it went to overtime 0-0. And Buffalo, by the way, won tonight. They're off to the next round. So the winner of this series plays Buffalo. But, even if they lose, what every game a 1-goal game, 7-game series. Like last year, they went 5, right? And if they do lose in 7 to, a good hockey team, a veteran team, it's going to be such a great experience again for this group, even if they don't end up winning. Like the positive, I'm trying to find a positive and, how I'm going to feel if they end up losing on Sunday. But it's true. Like even worst case scenario that they lose on Sunday, it's still another step in their development, in their improvement. Another 15 points in the regular season, almost won the division, almost won the conference. You could argue that they've outplayed Tampa 5 of the 6 games, maybe not by a lot. The teams are close, but they certainly haven't been outplayed in this series. I don't think anyone would make that argument. We've seen Dobish looks like a genuine NHL starter. He's 24 at 24 years of age to be playing like that. He's been absolutely outstanding. Somebody mentioning Gooley got out-muscled on that. I don't know. He kind of fell down, and I'm not. Caden Gooley again played an absolutely outstanding game. He's been rock solid in this. He got beat once on and then he got the penalty or whatever. But overall, we've seen that evolution of. Right. We're seeing what Caden Gooley is going to be like for the next decade, right? He's just he's just getting up to 200 games of NHL experience too, and it takes that long for defensemen really to be comfortable. Good times ahead with Caden Gooley on that blue line. Him and Hudson look like they could be a great pairing if they end up next year playing as a pair. We'll see. I've really liked Caden Gooley's game in this playoff.
He's been so good. He's just so he's combative. He's steady. But as a team, I know it's such a different vibe, and it's visible to see them. Last year versus Washington, they looked almost shell-shocked from the time it started, and it looked like it was a lot on them, and they were a little bit all over the place. And boy, they're not all over the place now. They're calm no matter what the circumstance. A 0-0 game goes into overtime. They don't really make any mistakes. Tampa just did a good play, and Nagel got away with that little interference or whatever you want to call it. That it happens, and there's nothing wrong with the way Montreal played. We could all nitpick, there was a mistake here. Over a 60-minute game, everybody's going to make a few mistakes here and there. It's not a problem. Wow. But generally, my God, have they been steady. Like even Jacky with the puck, he doesn't cough it up. He wins. He keeps the guys square to him. At the start of the year, even a regular season game against quicker opponents, he looked like he was all over the place. He's staying calm. He's keeping his emotions in check. Everybody just and even Caulfield, where we'd hope that he kind of would score a little bit more, because his defensive game has gone, adequate at least. He's not a detriment on the ice if he's not scoring. He could still do things and he could still contribute, and that's what you want. And boy, if Doc, again, knock on wood, if he could stay healthy, they really found that line. Boy, that line is so good, and that could be the Habs' next second, third line next year. I call it middle of the line lineup line, if you will. But when you could spread the offense around, boy, your team just becomes a lot more dangerous. So you talked a lot about the importance of making it to the playoffs, Grant, and what it means to a team, and we're seeing it now, why it's so important.
Yeah. Well, I think, there's all these trades that everyone would say, well, would they got to make, or they should have made at the deadline, whatever. We're seeing some stuff that it looks like it might be getting solved internally to a certain degree, I think Doc's back in the mix to perhaps be the second line center next year. Certainly middle line center. Do they have to blow their load to freaking pick up a top 2 center in the offseason? They're not going to go crazy and lose a trade and trade like Reinbacher and 2 firsts and whatever. Like, they're not going to do that. They don't have to. Page is coming. Cappy's still going to be back in the mix for middle line center spot. Doc is looking more like, he looks better at center. And when you can do it in the playoffs, you can certainly do it in the regular season. And I think I always say 2 years to get over a serious knee injury, and next year will be the second year. And I think Doc will be even better next year.
Yeah.
And even better than what we've seen in the playoffs here, regular season. He could be a second line center next year. It's possibility. Bull Duke, we're seeing what we had hoped to see. We saw it early in the season, but he's been solid, really solid in the playoffs. I'm back to thinking middle line winger as opposed to bottom 6 winger. There's that potential there with him now too. So do they have to? Maybe the second line gets solved next year internally. Well, maybe. I still think they'll pick somebody up in the off season, but if they don't, I don't think it's as calamitous as maybe it was once thought. Reinbacher, he'll be coming in next year. I don't know, the way Arber's playing, it looks like he's found his confidence.
Yes, 100. Yeah, 100%.
Or maybe regained his confidence, because when he came in his rookie year, he had a fair bit of confidence and he was playing well, and he never quite. He kind of lost it along the way there, in part I think because he was getting freaking everything called against him, and Marty would bench him and even send him to the minors for it, and, got a little gun shy. But it looks like he's got his mojo back, and he's a lot more confident with the puck. I've noticed, and this is in the playoffs. He looks like a solid NHL defenseman right now. And
he does.
There's a lot of positives. I mean, Dobish looks like a Fowler, and I said it all year. You don't know. You have no idea who's going to be the starter in 2 years' time. And right now, if you ask me, I think it's going to be Dobish that will be the guy that starts the most games a couple of years from now. There's no huge rush on Fowler to be the starter here either, especially when you've got a bona fide starter in Doby right now. He may end up being better than Fowler. And I said that all year. You can't predict goaltenders.
No.
They always. Who would have said Charlie Lindgren would be doing what he's been doing, 3 years ago? Right?
You're right.
You just don't know. And but the goaltending looks very promising. I did a Volokin video earlier that I showed some saves on the show that I did earlier with Liam this afternoon. Yes. And he's solid. They've got the goaltending looks a lot better than mid-season. It was a huge concern. Right now, I'm not concerned with the goaltending going forward. Demi, we saw tonight. Wait till next playoff. Wait till next year playoff time. Because the Habs are going to be back in the playoffs next year, and maybe as a top seed. And I bet you next year, playoffs, Demi, we start to see the real breakout with Demi. I mean, it's tough. Fraser Minton had a great rookie season, but he was just okay in the playoffs.
Yeah.
A lot of rookies come playoff time, like in Cappy was an example too. There aren't a lot of them that are standing out at playoff time. It's not easy. There's a reason why teams load up with veterans going into playoffs, because it really helps that you've been there and done it before, because until you experience it, you don't know just how intense and how good NHL playoff hockey is.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's something that players repeat over and over again. I know some people scoff at that and say, "Well, it's just stuff that no players say all the time for the veterans." It's like, well, if everybody says the same thing, I would suspect that it's true. Uh, I think Demidov is not only is he gaining experience as an NHL player, as a very inexperienced player, and it's in the playoffs, which in and of itself is not easy. But let's not forget, for the last two games, Marty St. Louis has been throwing the lines in the blender a lot. So he's got a lot to kind of get used to in an environment that is not easy. But he's holding his own, like more than holding his own. I think he's playing well. Yeah, he's some of the stuff that go wrong, I think, is inexperience and getting overpowered. It's not like stupid plays that he does or like boneheaded things that he does. It's a lot of times is just not sure if he should attack the net, back off, when to shoot, when to pass. His little details like that he's getting used to it. And a few times he does get overpowered, but that'll go better and better as he gets older. But he's done really well considering that like I said, they've changed his lines up. He often has different wingers, different centers, and it's different roles and different ways of playing. You're not going to play forward the same way when you're, let's say, with Doc at center than you are with Deno. It's a different. He has to adjust. So he's adjusting to a lot of things. I'm really happy with Demidov with that in mind.
Yeah, he played a lot with Danault and Anderson tonight, and that line was very good. They created a lot of stuff. Anderson, man, he's just he's just rolling. He's a runaway train out there. Absolutely love his game. Tampa's not gonna, they're not gonna miss Andy at the end of this series.
Yeah, for sure.
Hagel, man, did he crunch Hagel there? Oh, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Hagel's not doing the any of that shit anymore, eh? You notice?
No.
Kind of toned it down a bit, right?
Right. And I think even the defensemen, I thought they were rushing the puck a lot more to get rid of it when the train was coming, because there was a breakout when Anderson's on the ice. The breakouts are very wonky for Tampa. And I don't fully blame them, because some of those hits, man, I was grabbing my own ribs from home. I was touching my ribs, going, "Oof, man, that really hurt."
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I sat with Paul. In those seats right behind the net on the glass, and witnessed Josh Anderson chugging down and nailing somebody like this far from me, eh? And the glass just, and it's like, if I'd have taken that hit, when you, it would have been just, every bone in your body be aching, yeah, wow. He's a beast. He really is. And I liked when him and Chernak got together, and he'd been crunching Chernak a few times, and he's just smiling, wondering what Chernak's saying to him, eh? But just,
not too much.
Andy probably saying, wait, see you next shift. You better have your head up, because he's been labeling Chernak and Hagel and all of them. What do you think happens Game 7?
Same one as today. It's going to go to the very end, to the wire, 1-goal game. We're going to be at the edge of our seats. I had Tampa Bay winning the playoffs at the start. Do I change my prediction? I don't know. Am I allowed to? Should I? Is that unfair? Look, it's so tight. Um, making a prediction is just basically flipping a coin. It could go 50-50. Even statistically, scoring chances, how many shots on net, possession time. I think Montreal has a pretty good lead, but the goals are neck and neck, and then everything statistically, and the teams resemble each other. Getting great goaltending, a lot of depth. The defense. Montreal's defense is better. Tampa's is bending a lot, but they're not really breaking. So you got to give them credit for that. Both their top scorers maybe are not scoring as much as they usually do. They're having trouble finding the net. It's just both these teams just resemble each other right now, and in terms of ability. I'm glad to see that Caulfield got some good looks today. I think that kind of bodes well for another big game. And again, you hope that he scores, but if you could just get quality shots on net and just keep Tampa on their heels a little bit, it's just another thing for them to worry about. Frees up other guys on the ice, and that'll be maybe enough to get the Habs to the next round.
Yeah, no, Caulfield, best game of the first round tonight for sure. He was dangerous. You could tell in the first period that he was on his toes, and he was making things happen. Hey, he doesn't hit that post, and he's the hero, right? I mean, it that close, and a couple other really good chances. Wayne saying, "I picked a bad time to run out of beer." That's I don't know. I'm thinking of why I'm thinking of Lloyd Bridges and Airplane.
Yes.
I picked a bad week to stop sniffing glue or whatever. I picked a bad week to stop drinking. Yeah, it.
One of the
Wayne,
top 3 movies of all time.
yeah, Wayner, I'll drink. I'll drink for you, buddy.
Okay. I got water.
Mm-hmm. Maybe see if you can get a gummy out of the back of the cupboard there somewhere or something, Wayne. I know you got a few stashed there somewhere. No Vasi, 5-0 hat the chances we had. I don't necessarily agree with that or disagree with that. Mind you, lift it a little higher. I just wish they would just get it up over the pad, boys. There was a pick on the we know there was a pick on the goal. Mark DeCarrier grow a few inches. He's been playing well. He's been pretty solid, hasn't he? Bob Marley's cousin, Bob Matley. Power play is garbage. They spend most of the time just passing. I thought that earlier too. Like they were doing that. Sweet Georgia Brown. Just going in a circle, passing around. And like I swear they do the Harlem Globetrot. They whistle as they're doing it some nights because they just shoot the flicking puck. There were 2 or 3 times they just just come on, unload. But they did. They go through a 40-second passing sequence and it would end up in a really nice scoring chance. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Sometimes you wish there were 3 or 4 scoring chances in that period of time. You know what I really was impressed by tonight by the Canadiens' defense? Just how good they were at clearing pucks in front of their own net tonight.
Oh, yeah.
They were terrific at it right up until the winning goal. And unfortunately, but because there were a lot of times when the puck was just sitting right there, and they got to them and cleared out the players, got their sticks on the players' stick before they could get the shot off. Because Tampa did have some good opportunities, but they didn't end up getting the shots off because the defense and the forwards were really on top of just clearing the crease area tonight. They really backed up. Dobie was great, but the defense again I think has been, the back end has been the glue that has the reason why the Canadians are going to a seventh game against a 106-point Tampa team that's healthy, with the exception of Hedman now, for one of the few times this season, and weren't going to be an easy out for any team, right?
Of course.
So,
of course.
Again, I really have to give kudos to the defense, and I thought Matheson, who took a lot of heat last game, had a really solid night tonight.
Oh, he was great. I couldn't agree with you more. And you talk about clearing the front of the net, boy. I really like Dano's clearing in the front of the net on that.
Yeah, that was
Oof,
he played
boy.
goaltender there. That's true, eh? Like Tampa, Tampa did have 3 or 4 posts that it could have been 3-0 the other way too if Tampa gets the breaks. It's just one of those nights, man. Could have gone either way. Tampa got the pick. They got the goalie kind of blew a tire, and the rebound went to Gonçalves. There were about 5 other times when the puck didn't bounce the right way for the Tampa guy that was in front of the net. This time it did. So game over. These teams are so close. Every game's been a 1-goal game. It's just, it's anybody's series. And then when it goes to a 7th game, it's anybody's. Like I say, Tampa has not won 2 games in a row in their last 28 playoff games. Montreal just doesn't lose 2 games in a row. It once since November or something ridiculous like that. The Canadians are the best team in the East on the road this year.
Yep.
They're fantastic on the road. They're a tight group. They're resilient. We've seen how resilient they are since the 4 Nations break last year, right? The last 120 games that they've played, just such a resilient group. Come back, I thought after that, by the way, that 2-0 lead that they blew, if you want to call it blue, it seems like it was a blown lead now because it's the only friggin' time in this entire series that a team has had a 2-goal lead. It's the only time, Rick. It's
incredible.
That's incredible. Just how
it's just nuts.
How tight it's been, right?
Right. You're so right. Everything you said is spot on, and I think too sometimes, and we all fall for this, right, Grant? When the team that you're hoping to win, your team, doesn't win, you fall into the trap of saying, what could they have done better? What they did wrong? The opponent plays well too, and Tampa played well, all things considering. They're an excellent team. They did a lot of things very well, and they could have won the game, as you said. They had a ton of opportunities. They hit a few goal posts, 2 of them on the same power play at one point. So it's not again like Montreal is taking on the 10th team of the conference, and that squeaked by the playoffs, and they're not a very good team, and they could have easily been eliminated. They're taking on a team that has 106 points. You don't get 106 points by being lucky, friends. It's not because you're on a hot streak that you get 106 points. It's because you were good all year round. And just quickly too, going back on the power play while we're mentioning this, I think part of the problem, the reason they're passing it more, is because Vasilevsky is a great goaler and they're trying to create openings, but it's true that if they got shots off a little quicker, it'd be helpful. Like Jacky, right? That was a great shot, and boy, that could have led to something. But Tampa is a great team, and they have experience, and they're playing for their lives. We don't like Eagle, but geez, what a player he is, and he's pushing the pace, and he's being smart about it. They got a lot going for them, and Montreal is the youngest team ever to make the playoffs. That's also very important to remember, right?
Are they really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen such a seesaw battle in my life. 6 1-goal games, 1 loss, 1 loss, 1 loss. If we follow that trend, we win in Tampa. There you go, B-Doc. We're on the same page here, Mark. I kind of hope that Vasilevsky would get hurt from Demi crashing into a little payback for Price. Yeah, absolutely. And our Flyer friend, I don't know, I'm going to be a critic. Talking about Caulfield. I'll say it again. Caulfield's 1 goal seems disappointing. Oh, yeah. How many goals does Cam York have so far in the playoffs there, Jiggy? That's who they picked. That's who they picked in Philadelphia instead of Caulfield.
Yes. That's true.
He probably has 3. I don't know. I haven't been paying enough attention to it, but for some reason, Flyer fans keep a close eye on Cole Caulfield. I don't know why. Yeah, Scorpion saying bring in Florian Jacki for Bolduc. I have been fine with Bolduc's play. I think he's playing really well, actually, and I would not be. I would not be bringing up Florian at this point.
No.
But, I have been looking at him, and I am preparing a video. He is looking good in the playoffs. And I think he might push for a spot next year at some point. And hopefully in the playoffs, by the playoff time next year. He's looking good. I have to give him his due. His skating has improved, and he's looking pretty solid. Mark,
awesome.
I'm so glad to have you back, Mark, because and hey, I understand. Very understandable that you took some time off when such a tragic event happens. But I missed our interplay. And here, Grant, with Doc's recent play, do the Habs re-sign him? Well, I don't think that's a given. Absolutely, you don't have to pay it. Here's we need to find a middle line center. Okay, well, this one's going to be free. It's not going to cost you any assets. All you got to do is re-sign him as an RFA, and he can't ask for the world. He can't ask for a lot right now. It'll be a fair contract. $4 million will be under the salary cap average.
Yeah,
that's about what he'll get next year.
Yeah.
What if he ends up being second line center for the Habs next year at $4 million? The way the salary cap's going up, you know what a second line center makes on average? $6 to $8 million or more. A lot of second line centers. So, not saying he's going to be second line center, but he certainly, as far as I'm concerned, he can be a middle line center, and if you can get a middle line center below the salary average, that's a player somewhere. I don't know. If you look at 6 to 10 on your depth chart as far as value goes, 6 to 10, and you get him below the average salary in the league. Oh, absolutely, they're re-signing Kirby Dach, and if we see the bad Kirby, invisible Kirby, for I don't know, I'd give him at least a 2-year contract. If you see that, okay, you consider moving him at the trade deadline or something like that. But you don't just give up on an asset like that when all you have to do is qualify him at $4 million. I say it's a no-brainer that Kirby gets signed and is back again next year. Rick, what are your thoughts?
I was going to bring up that point about him being an asset, right? A big, he's 6'3", 6'4", I think, center.
6'4",
right-handed shot. He's 6'4", 220 pounds at least, if not 230. Right shot. Those guys, no matter what, they're always in demand. If ever they're not happy with him for whatever reason, they could put him up on the market and get a fantastic return and put him in a trade if they have to, whatever the case may be. But you know, again, I love Montreal's character. Their leadership group to me is impressive. Everybody has great things to say about Suzuki and Matheson and everybody loves Caulfield's enthusiasm. He obviously loves the game and he loves to be on the ice and he cares so much and Hudson is the same way. Well, all those guys have Doc in their circle of friends. You see him; he's always mixing with those guys, and they include him, and he's an important part of that group. That tells me a lot about what when he gets the respect of his teammates, those teammates especially. That tells me that he's an appreciated and important part of the team in the locker room, and he can bounce back. He's had a lot of injuries, we know, but if he could stay healthy, and his injuries are bad luck. It's not like always like years ago Eric Gaze had obviously a back problem that affected him for years and years, and it was always the same thing. But there's a very real possibility that Doc could stay healthy for the next few years, and if he is, oh my gosh, what an asset! That'll be a fantastic guy, especially come the playoffs time. Maybe in the regular season he might disappoint a little bit, but he's a playoff type guy with his tools. So, gosh,
Yeah.
keep him, sign him for a few years if you can at a good price.
Yeah. How many games have he's been healthy ever since he came back, right? So
Right.
hasn't missed any games. Gooley's not missed a few in a while. He had some maintenance. He had some maintenance stuff for a while, but no, I mean he's. I mean, I'd love to see him play an 82 game season if he ever did. Frig, and I really do think this. It takes 2 years to overcome a serious injury. Cole Caulfield. Caulfield had the shoulder surgery. Soldier surgery. Yeah. Okay. Have another one, Grant.
You're speaking like I am.
Yeah. This is only my second beer. I did crack one for the overtime. I usually wait till after, but I said, I'm like Wayne, I picked a bad week not to drink. No, not the hell with that. I'm cracking a beer, but you could tell, like he had serious shoulder surgery, and his shot just wasn't quite. The next year, if you recall, he struggled like the first 40 games of the year and barely scored, and his shot just had a little less velocity. It wasn't quite as good. It took him a year. It took him a year to get over it. Like it took one more off season, came back, had the really good productive year last year, and now this year 50 goal scorer, right? But if you look back and think like 2 years ago, like I have to look, but his stats were disappointing because he had been trending, and you thought, well, he'll be a 40 goal scorer, but then he had shoulder surgery, and it really did. Yeah, because he had scored 26 goals and 46 the year before.
Yeah,
which 40 plus goal pace. Well, the year after he scored 28 in 82, right?
Wow.
So then last year was the second year back after the surgery, had his shot back, 37. Now this year 51. I like Cole's game tonight. I don't have an issue. Vasilevsky's playing great. He hit post dead on. He had a couple other really good chances, good saves. I don't. I'm not too worried about Cole. I don't think he should be somebody that we're getting too worked up about. Look, let's just look at shots here. Can I? There. All right. Who led in shots on goal tonight? Cole had 4, and Demidov had 5. Two guys that kind of needed to get going. They did. They led the charge with offensive chances tonight. and they just weren't able to convert. Josh ended the game with 9 hits. Arbor slowed her down after that first. He had 6 in the first. He was on pace for 18 hits in the game after the first period. I guess he only had 1 the rest of the game, but 50 hits on the night. Anderson with 9, which is just incredible. 6 for Jake. He's been physical. I can't believe how physical Jake Evans has been in the playoffs here. I really, he added that to his game in the playoffs. Like he's shown that he's a gamer. And I mean, I saw that in college. Notre Dame went on a couple of runs where they weren't they overachieved, and he was fantastic. And it's looking like at the price they signed him at, what, $2.5 million or something like that.
Yeah, what's he making? 2.2, I think 2.2, 2.3, I think something like that. It's a really great price, and he doesn't really have trade protection either. I think he only has a 10-team no trade list, which,
right.
Again, it's the same thing, right? They like him and they're going to keep him, but maybe at some point somebody else is going to come up that could play the same role he does, but maybe be a bit bigger. Well, great asset. Who's not going to take a good fourth line center, right shot, good on faceoffs, very good penalty killer that plays an aggressive game in the playoffs? Yeah. You're going to get a big return for that.
Yeah, no, he's been solid, and Deneau had 5 giveaways apparently tonight, but
wow,
I can't say I recall any egregious ones, but okay. Slav played another 22 minutes tonight. He's getting lots of ice time. Susie, 24-55. Matheson, 28 minutes. Lane Hudson, 30 minutes, 44 seconds. Of course, it did go into overtime, so the numbers are a little inflated there. Demi, I thought he played a little more than that, but because he did get a couple of, they did try to double shift him a little bit later because he was feeling it. 17-38 as far as plus minus goes. Gooley, Arbor, Bolduc, Doc, and Texier were on for the goal against. So they all get the -1. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I think with Demidov though, his numbers, his total shift time might not have been as high, but I think he was keeping his shifts on the shorter side because among forwards, I think he has 23 shifts, which is pretty good. I think maybe that's one thing too, which is not a bad thing. But he was keeping Tampa on their toes a little bit. He was forcing them to back off a little bit, which is always good to see because that gives them a little bit more time to make plays and get creative. So really solid game by Demi for sure.
Bounce back game from Tampa in the face-off circle. They won 49% tonight after winning like 34 the game before. So that was an improvement on their end. But Montreal once again won the face-off battle, 51 to 49. Susie, he's been solid in the playoffs on the draws for the most part, 60%. Still loses a few too many on the power play, but it's so the tale of the tape tells you just like the game, like close, right? These teams, there's not a lot. We're seeing why they both finished the season with 106 points this year.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Doc took no faceoffs at all today. They were just really going with 3 guys to take all the faceoffs. It was Suzuki, Evans,
because Newhook took like 2 draws. No, you're right. I was looking at that. Like basically 3 guys and Newhook and Doc. That's a good point. Like Doc, they made sure that he was not taking it, even though he's been doing okay in the draws. so far in the playoffs, which that's kind of interesting that they managed to finagle that so that Doc never took any faceoffs.
Gosh.
Yet he was playing center. I guess they tried to get him on the fly, right?
I'm surprised that they didn't give him more chances, at least in the offensive zone, because then you're kind of forced to put in, Dano and or Evans on there, and that kind of hurts the offense a little bit. But I guess it's all about the puck possession. But Marty St. Louis must be exhausted with all these line changes that he's throwing. I'm surprised Montreal don't have too many men penalties, because
I know,
these line switches constantly is just incredible.
They deserve some credit for not doing that. I've been saying, till they face an elimination game, I don't think we'd see Dobson. Well, they're facing an elimination game. From all reports, his shot looked a little better, warm up and stuff in practice today and all that. He's been back skating, practicing with the team for 3 days now. A couple more days before. I have a feeling we might see him in for Stroobs in the next game. What do you think?
I would not be surprised. Pierre Lebrun, as we know, very well connected. He tweeted that he's at 50-50 today.
50-50.
Right. That matters. While I don't think Struble has played bad at all, unfortunately, you kind of have the last memory of him, and his overtime shift was not very good at all. I think there was minimum two cough ups. I think even a third one at some point, and you don't like to see that in overtime. That worried me a little bit, especially that he was just a little bit too patient with the puck. I appreciate the confidence, but Struble is not a finesse player that's gonna stick out his way out of trouble. That should have been out of the zone a little quicker.
Agreed.
And I think getting that boost is going to be a big thing, right? If Dobson could get a shot on net, the rest of his game should be fine. But if he could get a decent shot on net at the point, well, that's another tool the Habs will have that'll be helpful. And he's not as physical, obviously, as Struble, but Game 7, I don't think the physical part of the game is as important. The guys are going to be a lot more careful. Nobody wants to get a penalty on Game 7. The hard stuff happens, I think, in the first 2 or 3 games of the playoffs. As it goes on, it starts to settle down a little bit. You didn't see too much rough stuff today at all. I think it was a little bit of pushing and shoving, a few scrums that happen all the time. But it wasn't a very that kind of physicality is not as important.
Yeah. No, it was exactly. It wasn't one of those face rubs after the scrum crap tonight. Struble had a couple of giveaways there, and that playing a Game 7 against a strong contender like Tampa is a great experience and a true test for this young team, as it is a great measuring stick for Hugo. Yes, good for evaluating. Good going into the off season and say, okay, do we have to trade a bunch of assets and get a couple of more middle 6 pieces? Do we need another defenseman? I don't think they need another defenseman. I think they're fine. They got Engstrom and Reinbacher coming up, and they've got 7 NHL defensemen right now. They'll probably still look at adding a second line piece, I would think, and maybe a bit of more size grit but you know what? They don't look like they're lacking. They don't look like they're lacking grit now, do they?
No, they don't. They don't. And even a guy like Texier that we were really doubtful about, he seems to have gotten a little bit more comfortable. He's not a bruiser by all means, but he doesn't look like he's running away from anything either. I don't think. I think he's getting there. And boy, talk about another good find at $1 million. That's a really nice. That's a nice asset to have on your team for $1 million, right?
Like they just need to get older and get a little more experience. Like it's just the youngest team in the playoffs, like these guys are only going to be better next year. So I don't think that there needs to be a whole pile of changes. And then, you've got Beck and Jacky Florian. They're going to be saying, hey, we want jobs. Reinbacher, I mean, he's got to make the team, I think, on a cap next year. He just,
I think so.
I showed the friggin' clips of his last game there. Just, my goodness, what a skater. He just, he just, he wound up behind the net and came out with the puck, and it was just, like, wow.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I might have the clip solo here, and I'm just to make us all feel a little better after here it is here. I don't know if you saw this, Rick, but it was pretty cool.
No.
All right. Perspective, just watching this.
Trying to come after this one.
Okay.
Back checking on Hames trying to come after this one. Back checking on Reinbacher, who skates his way up. He finished the season with the Canadiens. Certainly one of these.
Powerful, eh?
It's great. It's great. And I love his balance when his pivots and his turns and everything is just so beautifully. And a lot of guys that tall are not that smooth, right? They tend to be a little bit more ugly, but everything is so smooth and graceful when he does it. It's a sight to behold.
Yeah. No, hey, good things coming here, folks. Reinbacher is the real deal, and he'll be fun to watch in a Habs uniform. Coming to a Habs uniform soon. See Feeney saying need to play with more piss and vinegar.
I don't know. Though.
50 hits tonight. Oh,
geez.
I don't know. I wish a Tampa Bay Lightning could come in here and comment on that tonight, because they'd be, as they got their ice pack on, about 6 bruises from the hits. Hey, Tampa's just, you gotta think of the other team, man. Tampa's just a good friggin' team, and they're not going to be easy to beat. Game of inches, really, and I think the Habs have been the more physical team. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, they have. Dave Marjoram, the experience they're gaining will prove invaluable moving forward. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
With Galley getting 5 minutes tonight, I wouldn't mind seeing 7D in case Dobson would need a few games to get going. Yeah. Galley didn't play a lot, did he? They seem to move other guys around, but he didn't hurt the team. I thought he was fine when he played.
I thought he was good. I thought he was good with limited minutes. When he was on, he made something happen a few times, and he was hard on some of those guys on the forecheck. They had trouble getting the puck out of their zone, which surprised me, because Galley, the thing is, he's not quick, but he's like a dog out there, right? He goes on you without hesitation at all. So you're kind of like stuck having to get that pest off you, and that's what he does well. And again, it's not a roster. I don't think there's anybody that should come in or out unless it's Dobson. There's nobody else that could come in, I don't think. That'll make a big difference. The physicality part, again, I think people want more physicality because they got frustrated and they want Tampa to pay for playing so well. But it's not the issue for Montreal. It's just getting those pucks a little bit higher, like you say, Grant, and take advantage of your scoring chances, because you got too many, and Montreal should be able to have a few more goals than they have so far.
Yeah. Honestly, this is the best kind of hockey that the Habs could be playing in their 5th year of the rebuild. Washington showed how physical it can be. Tampa is showing how tight it is to win. Yeah. It's playoff hockey, man.
Yeah.
So, it comes down to bounces so often, a playoff series.
Yeah. You're right.
Despite the result, it was a fabulous hockey game. I believe they will show their character and win the big one on Sunday. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Nothing beats a Game 7, folks. It's always fun. And I mean, tense, right? It's going to be intense.
Can't
Rick,
even imagine what it's going to be like.
It's Friday night. You got a little more time? What's going on?
Another 5 to 10 minutes is good, and then I'll
another 10 to 15. Okay, all right, good.
I know
I've
that's
always
what's
been-
going to happen. You're right.
What's that?
I know that's what's going to happen, and you're right all about that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
no problem.
you always have good comments. So
Well, thank
the
you. Thank
longer
you.
that you're on, the better.
Oh,
you know,
thanks.
I've always been a Doc believer. Sign him, Donnie.
Yes, Donnie. Right on.
Absolutely. Don't forget Rick. All those qualities and skill to boot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're talking about Doc here. I thought I was talking about his size and all that stuff.
Okay.
But yes, no, Doc has good hand. And you saw that goal, right? That stick work, the feet and everything, not easy to do. And when he scored that big goal there a few games ago. No, Doc has skills. I always thought his vision was only adequate, not great, but it's okay. But he's got. I loved his hands. I always liked his hands. I always liked his capacity to protect the puck. And when he keeps it simple and gets shots to the net and then goes to the net himself, he does a lot of great things for sure.
Yeah. So only going to get one person donate money tonight. Mind you, it was pretty nice. Everyone's
nice
a little like, "Ooh, geez." My Toonie's not going to look very good. Look very good beside that. Thank you again, Mark. Don't feel that you had to quadruple your promise that you send me $50 when Cole scored 200. Unless you think like next year Cole's going to score 200 goals or something, so you're paying up ahead of time there, buddy. But no, thank you very much again.
Yes.
It's truly appreciated. A good start to the month of May, getting a $200 donation. I truly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And I hope your family's getting over your traumatic experience. I'd put Cappy back in. He'll be hungry. Hey, Mark. Yeah, you know how to get on my good side, eh? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Galley Game 7. You want the vet. You want the vet that's been there before in the Game 7 scenario.
Yeah.
Galley's been through it all. I don't see them making a change, guys. I really don't. I think Galley was fine. And they started chanting his name there, eh? That one shift.
Yeah. Montreal fans are something else, man. They're just class over class over class.
Yeah. None of us have a clue what Marty is thinking, as shown by the things he's done in this series. That's true. Galley played great. Not sure Marty changes the lineup. Galley has experience playing Game 7s. There you go. Me and V-Doc never disagree anymore. It's weird. There's been a complete flip. I agree with JTL. Vlano's speed would help. Yeah, Vlano would have scored that overtimer tonight, boy. You just know it, eh? If he was in the lineup tonight,
two goals in 61 games, guys. I don't know if his scoring ability will do much there. I like Valeno as an extra forward because he won't hurt you necessarily, but there's better options right now than Valeno, and it's okay. He is what he is. Like I said, very happy with him. If Habs keep him as an extra forward, no problem at all. Okay with that. But again, there are better options right now than Valeno, and that's why he's not in the lineup right now.
Yep. Like it's Cappy coming in if they make a Joe with. He's been in all year, right? So, But I don't think it's happening. It'll be Dobson if there's any change. What exactly is his injury? Well, I think it's the thumb, right?
Yes, it is the thumb.
It's the thumb. In a tight series like this, it always boils down to coaching. Yeah, well, they aren't putting the puck in the net. If Dobson is ready for Game 7, I think that would be a huge boost. The way he passes out of his own zone makes things easier for forwards.
Yes.
Yeah. He is an upgrade on Stroops. I like Stroops, but We had 4 or 5 2-on-1s in the O-zone and couldn't bury them. That and Vasi was the difference. Still played a solid game. Anyone's game on Sunday. Well, here's to Vasi not standing on his head one more time, right? Hopefully he lets in a Texier type, goes off his glove and
that's it.
Goes in. Rick is great. Enjoy his content about hockey. Right on, Darren.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you.
Yeah, me. Well, I'm still the jury's still out on me, but Rick, I agree. Rick is the man. Well, listen, Rick, on that parting note, just like Costanza, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Okay. Well, that did on a high.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, made everybody laugh. Okay, I'm out of here. Anyway, okay, my friend. Thank you so much as always.
Thank you.
I didn't go 15 minutes. Did you notice that?
No, I'm thankful. Well, not even thankful. Actually, it would have been a fun day to go out, but I'll let you enjoy the show with everybody, and I'm gonna go have a good night's sleep and recover from today's nerves. I think my body needs to unwind. I'm about as tired as the Habs players are right now, so I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, hang on here, Grant. We all think you're great too. Oh, okay. You needed to read that. You needed to read that, Rick, before I left, just to keep you humble. Thanks, Rick. Thank you, guys. And from me, thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Grant. And thanks for everyone. It was a great night. Hope to see you again soon.
I wouldn't say it was a great night, but it was a night. And all right. It was a great show. Great comments. It's Sunday's going to be a great night. Okay, does that sound
awesome?
Does that sound good?
I'd love to. Awesome, man. Have a great night, everyone. Later.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Good night.
Thank you.
Enrico Springhetti, folks, the one and only. Matheson scares me when he handles the puck along the blue line. Yeah. Yep. Good night, Rick. I'm out too. Go Habs, go. All right. Thanks. I agree with that too, V-Doc. See, ever since you changed your name to V-Doc, we agree a lot more. Game 7 against an elite team like Tampa, going to be a great experience for our young guys. Well, that's how you have to look at it, folks. There's always bright sides to disappointment. And the bright side is, okay, V-Doc. Yeah, I'm not stressed. The bright side is that, all the youngest team in the league is going to experience a Game 7. They didn't do that last year. They didn't come close, right? It's going to be a great character builder, win or lose. I don't expect them to get blown out. They've shown all playoffs that they just don't get blown out. They ended the regular season like they weren't getting. When was the last time they got blown out in a game? Like, it didn't really happen too often, did it? Now that I think of it, I'm just going to have a quick look here. But they weren't allowing a lot of goals down the stretch, and they were in pretty much every game, if I recall correctly. There might have been 1 or 2 exceptions at the end, but let's see here. Okay. There were a couple of 3-0 loss to the Devils and 5-2 to Columbus. But aside from that, before that, they had a run. Well, of course, they had their 8-game winning streak, right? And lost 3-1. Yeah. Before that, they had not lost a game by more than 2 goals in wow. Detroit beat them 4-0 on January 10th, and they went from the 45th game up until that loss to New Jersey, 77th game. So 33 games, 32, 33 games, they went without losing by more than 2 goals. So that's a team. And now in the playoffs against a 106-point team, Tampa can only beat them by a goal. And that's pretty impressive, right? And two of them in overtime. So all good stuff. Resilient bunch. They're going to take a lot from this, win or lose, and next year they'll only be better. Do you extend Doc a qualifying offer? Oh, I guess K Short, you just came in. We discussed that at length. Yeah, absolutely. Doc gets re-signed. You'll be under the average salary. How's Tampa an elite team? We tied them in points. Montreal's an elite team. They're both elite teams, Scorpion. I didn't get to watch 106 points is an elite team. I didn't get to watch the first. I was listening to it on the radio where they made it sound like Tampa played them in the first. No, they did not. Maybe because Montreal was the top 6 and it just happened to draw the most evenly matched series. Yes. Late to join. Oh, no worries, buddy. Thanks for coming in, K-Short. You're fairly new around here. Thank you for being a viewer. Yeah, Toronto won 6-2 over Laval tonight. Wasn't a real pretty one, I don't think. I put it on video. I'm gonna have a look at it after we're done here. Oh, they sent back down Easton Cowan, right? And Cowan kind of showed the way tonight. 3 points. 3 points for Cowan. He's a pretty good AHL player at this point. It's too bad. Laval was at home. They started out 2-0, and then 6 straight goals by Toronto, and they ended up winning. Reinbacher ended up +1. If there's a bright side to it, the blue chip prospect was not on the ice for any of the 6 goals against, so, and ended up +1. So when you lose 6-2 and you're +1, you like to see that from a defenseman. Again, I like to try to find the silver linings whenever I can here. Does St. Louis return if they lose on Sunday? Oh, Scorpion, you certainly come up with some interesting comments. No, I think he's fired. If they lose, Hughes is going to say, pack your shit, buddy, you're out of here. Couldn't win Game 7 against a 106-point team. They're not elite. Scorpion says so. All right, folks. I seem to be caught up here on the what's with all the broken sticks? You know what, Dave? We've been asking that question since like game one of the start of the year. Mike Matheson leading the way. I don't know if you got a batch of dried out sticks or, well, I know they don't use wood anymore. So, but yeah, it's pretty sad. It really is. Anyone got? I'm all caught up here. I might have to pack it in here, folks. We don't have a huge turnout, which is often the case after a loss. Only 64 tuning in. Please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Since we don't have a lot of comments, maybe now is the time to give the sponsors a little shot, right? Should have done this a little earlier, but I don't like to do it when Rick's here. Next Level Hockey, folks. Specialists in hockey development trusted by NHL prospects. Whether you're looking to elevate your shooting, skating, stick handling, or overall game, NLH is here to take your game to the next level. Visit them at nextlevelhockey.com and follow their Instagram at nextlevelhockey_. You can see it there underneath the logo. For daily tips, posts, and updates, if you or someone you know have young aspiring hockey players who want to elevate their game, trust Next Level Hockey to guide them forward. Next Level Hockey. It's in the name. We also have Bonachère Caves, Eganville, Ontario, a private family-owned business run by hockey fans. Folks, they are open May 24th weekend. Hey, the Habs will still be playing, but doesn't matter. Go away that weekend if you are. Book a tour of Bonachère Caves in Eganville, just outside of Ottawa, about an hour away in the beautiful Upper Ottawa Valley, where I grew up. Caveman Chris, hell of a man. He huge hockey fan. He'd be cheering for the Habs here now, even though he's a Sens fan. Canadian boy through and through. Look, opening on May 24th, right through until Thanksgiving. If you get a chance, go check it out this summer. Absolutely beautiful experience. Bonachère Caves, Eganville, Ontario. All right, get a few more comments in here. Everybody's assuming they're going to lose Game 7. No. All I'm doing is just tempering it here. Just, if they do lose, it's not the end of the world. I've got them winning in 7 games. That was my prediction before the series started. So, no, I think they can pull it out. They're a resilient bunch. John says here, I think they have a better than average chance. They kind of carried the play for most of it. I think they have a fighter's chance for sure. Been a great road team all year. As I said, John, they rarely lose 2 in a row. Tampa has not won 2 in a row in their last 28 playoff games. So, if you go by recent trends, Montreal's winning. They've been a great road team all year. Resilient. No, I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that they lose at all. I'm not against Dobson coming back, obviously, but if he's not 100%, maybe let him heal. Hey, he wouldn't be the first guy. It's not 100% that plays. If he wants to play, I say let him play. If the doctors give him the okay, go for it. 50-50 on Sunday. Yeah, I'd say it's a toss-up. I mean, this series, it's 1-goal game all the way through. I think Tampa's getting tired. It'll catch up to them. Well, tell you what, they've been wearing them down. Absolutely. 1, 2, 3. 2 out of 3 in Tampa so far. Let's keep that odd game victory streak going. There you go. Scorpions got a... Yeah. Well, they had the legs for 4 minutes, so yeah, that's what you go by, Scorpion. You don't go by the other 500 minutes of the series. You go by the 6 minutes overtime. That's how you judge. Habs will win. Go Habs, go. Right on, Mark. Yeah. That game was a Vasi steal. I don't think. No, they didn't. They absolutely didn't outplay Montreal. They had a couple more chances in overtime. Means dilly squad. Dilly squad, I tell you. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's Friday night, 11:54. I'm gonna Mark, are you up? You want to hang on? I usually leave it up to you. Or you want to hang in there for a bit longer? I could be talked into it. Completely up to you. Missed our back and forth here. But if I do stay for a bit longer, I have to go out for a few minutes. That's kind of why I've been... all right, Mark. I'm going to put up my famous banner here. I will see you folks in 3 minutes. All right. Get rid of this banner. All right, folks. Nature was calling. And one more of these. Friday night. Drowning my sorrows. All right. right, bring him on. What do you got to ask me? I'm usually pretty colorful 3 or 4 beers in, so I got to get back to the out of town scoreboard. That killed me. Like I say, I looked at the flash score, and it said 1-0 Montreal. I mean, I was a little pissed that I saw the score, but I thought, oh, right on, they won. So I'm just waiting for the game to catch up, and it was Tampa that won. And then I see flash score correction, Tampa 1-0. How the hell do you mix that up? Assholes. Get my friggin' hopes up like that, and then Tampa friggin' wins it. I have to stop using flash score. So it's not the first time that's happened, folks. I'm just, I want to check the PA Medicine Hat score here. Yeah. Maybe Pickford will be in the lineup. Prince Albert won tonight, 6-3. I mean, they are expected to win this series. So they go up 3-2. And no points for our buddy Pickford tonight. Only 1 point for Daxon Rudolph. But 6-3. 6-3 loss. So going back to Medicine Hat for game 6 and do or die for the Tigers. But I don't know. Prince Albert's had their number most of the year. I don't expect them to come back and win that one. Murray says that the Habs needed screenshots. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They weren't getting that many shots from the point. They had good chances, man. They just Vasilevsky was fantastic. They weren't getting, they got really good chances in like breakaways and chances right in close. They just didn't bury them. Hit posts. Didn't get it up high enough. Shot it right out his pads. They had they had like scoring chances right 5, 10, 15, 20 feet away. There weren't really a lot of point shots, so as far as the screenshot thing goes, I don't know. It's not like they were getting shots in from the point per se. I didn't think. I'm super happy to see the players that have been doubted all year seem to be coming through when it counts the most. See, there's another positive. There's just so many positives, After a disappointing loss, it's easy to focus on the negatives, but just so many positives from this game. Absolutely. And just a sec here. I have to get back to Paul. Little inside there. Traffic in front. Yeah. Of course, Scorpion agreed 100%. Hey, Scorpio, I appreciate you coming out, my friend. Anyone get annoyed by the TV broadcasters always talking about the top guys, like scoring and whatnot? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Hey, it's a friggin' playoff series. Sometimes top scorers don't produce. I mean, McDavid was -8, 1 goal. You know, is Caulfield -8? He's got 1 goal. McDavid in 6 games had 1 goal and was -8. So, is he a bum? I mean, it happens. Whether he's battling injury or not. How many goals has Cole been on for in the postseason? Like, has he been terrible defensively, or? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Okay, why is this not? Sometimes elite prospects doesn't come up. I just want to check his plus minus. So he's -5. Well, a goal and 3 assists. -5. McDavid's -8. I coached hockey for decades. I have lots to say. Yeah, well. Good for you, my friend. I coached a lot of hockey too. Scouted, played hockey for decades. It's a fun sport, isn't it, Scorpion? Yeah. All right. Let's have another look at the hits. 9 hits for Josh. I love that. Arbor 7, Evans 6. I like the way that Jake has stepped up in the playoffs here. He's been solid. You know, I don't think you make any crazy changes at this point in the lineup. You know, I understand the fact that, hey, you want the best possible lineup, and if you think, well, this guy might be able to help more than that guy, I get it. But they're not going to call up somebody from the AHL right now for Game 7 that's just going to, you know, be the difference maker. Like, you can look good in the AHL. NHL playoffs, whole different matter altogether. The only change that I can see happening is Dobson in for Struble if they deem that he's ready, and he probably will be. If he was 50-50 tonight, 2 days from now, he's 60-40, which means he's probably going to play. Haven't seen a lot of mistakes from Dobson the last, like, up until his injury there. He'd been pretty rock solid defensively, hadn't he? They could use that one more reliable, big, mobile, shot blocking defenseman that's right-handed in the lineup. like that's part of it too, right? You got ghouls, like you can blame him. Hey, he was a left-handed defenseman, stick on the other side. You know, the puck's on the right side. His stick isn't over there in time because he's a lefty, right? If you got the right-handed defenseman there, if that was Dobson, well, his stick's on the right side. You know, he probably gets the puck out of the way because he's a righty playing on the right. And Goalie had to, you know, he was on the right side and him left shot. So, but hey, I've loved Caden Gooley's playoffs. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to blame him for the loss. I'm not going to say anything bad about Caden Gooley. I think he's stepped up and proven that you watch over the next decade, he's going to be a huge pillar on this hockey club. Loved on Twitter, if you're on Twitter at all, you've seen the when they're asking about getting Dobson. You know, that's been on Twitter quite a bit lately, and him saying effing rights. We got, you know, what was your reaction? Effing rights when we got Dobson. When Galley did his interview and he comes out, and who's the guy leading the cheers, right? Galley, shirtless Caden Gooley. You know, there's a reason why he was captain of Canada's U20 team, why he was a playoff MVP in the WHL in his final season, leading the Oil Kings to the Memorial Cup. He's had to deal with a lot of friggin' injuries since he turned pro, but we're just seeing him just start to scratch the surface here of his potential. And his potential is to be a hell of a shutdown defenseman. And I think the same can be said for Reinbacher going forward. Dobson has proven that he, you know, he's a hell of a defensive defenseman. I think he was underrated. Yeah, he's not the most physical 6'4" guy, so I think there was that was the knock on him in Long Island, I guess. It's at times you thought, oh, well, he's not really that intense. Well, he's just a hell of a defenseman. You know, he blocks shots. That takes intensity. That takes toughness. Is he a bruiser out there? No, but the rest of his game is exceptional. So, and as far as his puck decisions and stuff, at the start of the year, there was the odd time when you'd say, okay, he's not moving the puck. He's making some poor choices. Well, as the year went on, we rarely saw those mistakes from him. He was just solid as could be away from the puck. So, and with the puck. Game 7, going to be a great experience for the club. Going to be great for his first pass is very good for sure. It's going to be great for the club. Going to be fun to watch, win or lose. I think the Canadians can beat Tampa. I think they've worn them down. They certainly were the more physical team today. It wasn't even close. I mean, Corey Perry, you know, they moved him up. What did he do? First period, he had a couple of things in the offensive zone, but then he was done. Like, this is a lot older team, this Tampa team, and over 60 minutes, I think, in a game 7. I think that I think that they end up prevailing, especially if Dobson can get in there, and they just got that one more. The 6'4" mobile defenseman that's pretty much impossible to get around. One-on-one defending and outlet passing, skating. What a nice ad. Now, does Tampa turn around and dress Hedman? I guess that would be the wild card as far as Tampa goes, right? I guess Hedman is kind of close too, but I think Dobson's closer. So we'll probably see. I put the odds better that Dobson ends up being in the lineup than Hedman. I certainly hope that's the case. Well, folks, maybe I shouldn't have cracked this last beer because we don't appear to be getting too many comments. We seem to be losing folks. Friday night blues. Oh, we got somebody looking at the no, Nick was passing the puck tonight. You're right, he didn't you did notice that most of his 101 points were assists, right? Like, he's a 70 assist guy. So be expecting more passes than shots, my friend. Hedman hasn't played in a long time. Maybe a good thing if he slots in. Yeah, that's true. No team in history has had a series clinching game going to overtime 0-0 and lost. History made. Always nice to make history, I guess. Be nice if it was on the winning end, but do I think Engstrom's ceiling would be like Matheson in time? Smooth skater. No, not quite, but he is smooth. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, that's an interesting stat for sure. You'd figure he might have a little rust to knock off. Well, it was noted that he's doubtful for this series. So like I say, it's not probable. But you get to a game 7. Even rusty Victor Hedman, frig, I'd rather not have to face him. I mean, that defense doesn't make me tremble. That they are solid, but Victor Hedman, oof. One of the best playoff performers of the past decade. Maybe not so much the last couple of years, but I'd rather not have that big 6'6" blue liner in there. Rust or no rust. Heiskanen's gone. You give me 3 years ago, Heiskanen, Hedman, that would be my choices for defenseman. You want a pairing, Heiskanen, Hedman, start from there. Playoff playoff beauties. All right. Vegas is up 2-0 on Utah after 2. I'm just going to double check this. It says third period with a minute left, so I guess Vegas is going to advance here. But I'm going to double check because knowing flash score. Okay, so now it says there's 20 minutes left. These guys. Marner. Hey, Marner finally scores. First goal of the playoffs for Mitch Marner. He has a goal and an assist. Vegas up. They can clinch her tonight. Might have to go watch the third period, folks. Which player has impressed you the most on the Habs in this series? Impressed me the most. I don't know. Like surprised me. Like I really like Gooley. Doby, Gooley, Doby. Oh, frig. Anderson. Carrier's surprised me. Depends on your definition of impressed. Like, all those guys. Doby obviously is playing great. A lot of people are saying Doby. Cole getting the Lady Bing? No. It'll go to Kopitar, send him off, right? He's won it a couple of times before. This is his swan song. The way they do things, the NHL, Kopitar will end up winning the Lady Bing. Mind you, I didn't have time to look it up, but there's a really good chance that at least 3 Canadians are nominated for awards. And I'm not sure when the last time that happened was. Because you're looking at Caulfield for Lady Bing, Suzuki for the Selke, Demidov for the Calder. Well, I said at least, but I guess it's 3 because I thought, before today, I thought Marty might be a nominee, but they announced them today. Moby from Pittsburgh. Cooper with his 4-point improvement from last year in the regular season. And Lindy Ruff are the 3 nominees for the Jack Adams. But regardless, I still think there's going to be 3. I think Suzuki's going to be a finalist for the Selke, and I think Demidov will be one of the 3 nominees for Calder. So, when's the last time the Canadians had 3 different players nominated for trophies, NHL trophies? It's I don't think it's been too often since the heyday, the 70s. Lafleur, Robinson, Dryden, right? They'd I don't know. I don't think. Did it happen has it happened since the 70s? If it has, it's only been a couple times. Like the year that PK won Norris, I don't think anyone else was nominated. They've only had a couple of Chelios, Dahlin, Naslund, like that were finalists for the Calder in recent years. Lane last year, but there weren't two other. There was Lane and Marty, but there weren't three, right? I don't know. I think it hasn't happened too often anyway since the 70s. If it has, it might have been a one or two times, but I'd have to go back over it and see. But off the top of my head, like the year that Theodore won the Hart, there wouldn't have been two other. And the year that, I mean, that was one of the reasons why he won the Hart, because there was no one else on the team. Same with Kerry winning the Hart. Like, and even if he won that, like he won the Hart and Vezina, it's still one person. I'm talking three different people. The organization nominated one of the three finalists for an award in the NHL. Nothing that comes, like off the top of my head. And I asked Liam, and he didn't. if nothing comes to mind for Liam right off the top of his head, that it hasn't happened too often. So this is just the start, right? This is just the start of it, folks. There's going to be a bunch of Habs that are nominees for multiple trophies, I think, over the next few years. Cole's going to be in the running for the Rocket again, like he finished second this year, right? He's not a nominee. You could say, well, second place for the Rocket. That makes 4, but you don't get to be a nominee for that. Lane, I think, will not only be a nominee in the future for the Norse, maybe even this year he is. He's close. He's probably top 5 this year. But I see him getting nominations and perhaps even winning the Norse in the future. Wouldn't be surprised if Marty got more Jack Adams nominations in the future. Wouldn't be surprised if Cole gets more Lady Byng nominations in the future. I don't know if any of them will vie for the Hart, but that's a possibility down the road too, with the skill of this club. So I know it's biased. Marty deserved a nod. Youngest team in the league, 106 points. Well, if you're going to give it to Cooper for, youngest team in the league, 15-point improvement, right? Well, Cooper, a club that went to 3 finals, won 2 cups, and with their core improved by 4 points. It's kind of a lifetime achievement nomination for Cooper. Lane Hudson, definitely the best player of Montreal in the playoffs. Yeah, well, impressed. If you just go by, who's been the best player, probably Lane. Dobie's been close. Doc is impressed. There's been a bunch of them that impressed. Do I remember Cornway going around Elmer Vasco? No. That's going back a little too far for me. Was that Elmer Moose Vasco? You're talking like the 60s for Elmer Vasco, aren't you? Yeah. No, I'm not that old. Yeah, Elmer Moose Vasco. Finished his career with Minnesota. I just remember the name. I don't remember him playing. But I'm sure he went around. Hey, any guy named Moose in the 60s going up against Yvon Cornway, the Roadrunner, he would have got he would have got schooled a few times. Roadrunner was exceptionally fast, unbelievably quick. That's for sure. All right, folks. Put in 2 hours here. Mark, again, sorry to hear about your mother, and I was worried about you. I know I sent a couple of quick emails just because all of a sudden you kind of disappeared. I figured something major happened, and I didn't know whether it was to you or someone you knew, but glad to hear from you. Glad to see you back. And Yvon had wheels. Yes, he did. It's nice to see Knuckles carrying the torch today too, right? Had him on, friend of the show. Had him on earlier this week, and now he friggin' carries the torch a few nights later. It must have been a thrill for him, for sure. Okay, folks, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I really appreciate everyone coming out. Glad to see you back, Mark. Thank you for the obscene donation, and we'll definitely see you Sunday. I'll probably do a video of some sort of prospect tomorrow. Keep her rolling, but Sunday's the day, right? We'll probably do a pre-game, get ready for the match, and then post-game, and let's hope it's a cheerful one. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, and it was a great day to talk hockey. A great game. It really was a great game. It's been a great series, and it's going to be a great Game 7. And let's hope that the Habs can prevail. Okay? Have a good night, everyone.